Hello, my name is Virgil and this is Literally Books. Today I want to talk about Koga Shinichi's Mansect. It's a horror manga that's been reprinted recently, originally from 1975. Koga Shinichi is probably best known for this horror manga series about a teenage witch, like a 13-year-old or something witch called Iko Azarak. Could not for some reason remember that. And apparently that manga got people in Japan very interested in the occult. And it's a very popular, that has been adapted into like TV and movies and everything. It's interesting that there's not a whole lot of information about Koga Shinichi or Shinichi Koga. In fact, he doesn't have his own Wikipedia page. There's one for his manga, but not for him, which is so strange to me. This book does have a very brief, but I think a good little microbiography on him. Born in 1936 and he passed away in 2018. He's kind of like a foundational person for horror manga, an inspiration for Junji Ito, for example. Mansect focuses on two kinds of horror: body horror and creepy crawly stuff. So if you're not into that, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to read this because it's got tons of creepy crawlies. There's bugs crawling on people's faces. There's people turning into bugs. It's all kinds of crazy stuff. We start off with a young man whose father is gone. I want to say his father has passed away a long time ago, and his mother has recently passed away. And he's kind of holding himself up in this room in this house, and this like nosy neighbor comes over and is like, "You should get out of the house." And there's bugs all over, and she's like, "Oh, these bugs are gross." And she's gonna crush one. And he's like, "Don't do it." So he's obsessed with these bugs for some reason, but we're not really sure why. The other kids at school are kind of like bullying him, and they push him in like this muddy, gross pit or something like this, not a very big pit, but it's deep, and he falls in up to like his ankles or something and gets cut. And then he's just feeling kind of sad and morose, and bugs are like the only things that interest him or that make him happy. And then like the next day, this cut that's on his leg from this pit like starts oozing out this weird cottony stuff. And then he slowly starts to like cocoon himself. It's really good. I really do like the imagery. There's lots of really good, like heavy use of black, and this like kind of heavy shading that is a certain style. And this has definitely got some really great like creature feature type energy, really good. So the story itself, the setup is usually just kind of like a cursory thing. The explanations are cursory. They're not really, I don't think they're super well developed. But I don't really think that matters because you're reading this for this really shocking, like weird, gross stuff, and these really amazing like horror images, these sort of monsters and stuff that we see that come out of this, and just creepy stuff that happens. That same guy after he gets out, after he's done cocooning himself, I think someone sets the house on fire, and he gets out, and then like a dog bites his hand off, and his hand starts having its own adventure for a while, and it leads to someone else having something happen to them. And there's a series of different young men who get like or men at least, that get transformed into these like hybrid insect things, right? And then there's some great like sort of like pseudo, what I think of Frankenstein's monster sort of stuff, with this young girl like befriending this guy who's living in a cave, but she doesn't see him until one time she finally does, and she's like, "Oh no." And also bugs, just like swarms of bugs biting and attacking people and stuff, and really weird stuff at one point where this like pillar of like weird, I don't know if it's flesh or insect or what, it appears in the house, and they're like, "Oh, it's warm. I think this is Dad." It sounds so random, but it did feel a little bit random, but it was good. I really like this. It's definitely in the flavor of Junji Ito. It's a Japanese style horror. I would say it's an older variety of horror. As I say, it's more body horror and creepy crawly stuff, and it has this sort of like older monster movie sort of energy that I think is good. It's neat energy, right? It's a little different in that sense, and just some really great, wild illustrations that I think are just awesome. Again, kind of an artist, a manga artist, and writer that I don't know if he's talked about a whole lot. Obviously, that series about the teenage witch is supposed to be very popular. Anime came from it, a movie came from it, but it's strange that he doesn't have his own like Wikipedia page. But of course, this is in English, so maybe it could be part of this reprint. This is a newer reprint. Is an effort to raise like Western awareness of him. So just a really great, fun time, you know. I really enjoy this. I picked this up from my daughter and I said, I might review that if you're okay with it, if you don't mind me letting me read it. And she said, okay. And so I had a good time with this. Really great. It's great to see like sort of how that horror develops and sort of see like where he's doing things that are interesting but feel a little bit older, and you can see how those ideas sort of influenced later horror manga artists and writers. You might also notice that I've got a guest here, and that the chair is red. Yeah, that's we're doing some stuff. Chris and Brian and I are doing some stuff. I don't know when you'll see this video, but on this weekend we'll have our first sort of discussion about the horror reads that we're going to be doing and everything. So look forward to that. It's great. We had such a good time talking to each other about Blackwater that we decided we should just keep doing it. And so we've kind of making a thing with it. And that'll be on this channel. That first video is on Chris's channel, though, the Blackwater video. And so we're doing some fun and silly things. And of course, this is Creepy Baby, right? And so I'm doing that, channeling a little Michael K. Vaughan energy. But not stealing his idea. I don't want to steal his shtick. Anyway, so and Michael K. Vaughan's great anyways. We literally have this doll that we have literally called Creepy Baby in our house forever. And I thought, I'm putting Creepy Baby in the video. So that's just what's going to happen. So if you see Creepy Baby back there, this is what's going on. This is what we're doing. Anyhow, thanks very much. Like and subscribe. Help. There's a support link down below if you're interested. Look forward to that first episode with Brian and Chris and I on this channel, on Literally Books. I almost said our live show name. Thanks very much. Bye.